Felicia,
Hello.
so good to see you.
Alicia?
It's good to see y'all too. I miss both of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit. I think the last time I saw you, I just happened to be walking on Berkeley's campus and ran into you.
Yep.
I was with the Julia, and you happened to be moving back into the dorms?
Yeah. Still a little offended you didn't tell me that you were going to be up there, but it was a pleasant surprise.
I told you I was going to be there, but I didn't say I was going to be there then.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
When's the last time you saw Oscar?
Senior year, probably, right?
Year.
Oh, wait, no. Did I see? I felt like I saw you after senior year. Did you come to a graduation after 2017? Or did you ever come to Preuss again after 2017?
No, yeah, I came back. I was still there in 2018. I was there for the 2018 graduation.
Oh, okay.
And then I left halfway through the next year. So I must have seen you then.
Yeah, I remember me and Alejandra were talking to you.
That's right. Yes.
To DC.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's funny. I forgot about that. My last memory of you was when you were doing your senior presentation for your the three parts of the wheel. Forget what you call that at Preuss. It's when you have the panel members and you're giving your
exhibition.
Your exhibition. I remember that. I was on your panel for your exhibition.
Wait. I can't hear.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, I can hear. Okay. I was like, wait, y'all are moving your mouse and I can't hear anything. Okay. But yeah, I feel like my most prominent memory of you, Mr. Ramos, is senior exhibition. And that's.
Well,
that's what I was saying I remembered.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, I think you probably had less piercings, less tattoos, maybe?
Yes. Way less piercings and way less tattoos, for sure. Yeah. I went to college and I said, let me be great.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
So is that part of your protest gear? Because it sounds like you've been involved in a lot of protests.
Yes. I haven't been involved in many protests just because I feel like there's a saying that one of my friends say that let the allies handle it. And I'm a firm believer in that because I know Carr knows this, but I had my own issue at a protest where I was detained by police and was wrongfully convicted. But luckily that all got handled. But because of that, I really don't like putting myself in those situations where I know, especially because I'm not a citizen, so I don't want to potentially hurt, my standing here in this country. So I just I will go to the ones that I know are going to be extremely peaceful. So I know I'm not putting myself in danger. So I've only been to a few protests, but I try not to show my tattoos because that's a really easy way for the government to identify me, and I don't need them to be taking me to jail or anything like that. So I try to cover them up. I think it actually is very important for us to have this ethnic solidarity and showing that it's not just us that's not okay with it, but everyone's not okay with it. But I think that there are issues there because it can come off as very performative. For example, there's a lot of people that are stepping up now, but it's this stuff has been happening forever. So why now are you speaking on it? And it's also it's so easy for you to post a black square on Instagram and be like, oh, Blackout Tuesday or Black Lives Matter, but then that's all you do. And you still let your family say the N-word, or you still let your friends say anti-black stuff. So it's just there's a lot of these allies are really just performative, and they're just saying that oh, I support you, but what are you actually doing to support me? So it's a balance of I appreciate it, I really do, because we do need all the help we can get, but it's also don't do it just because everyone else is doing it because you don't want to look like you're racist,
Right.
Do something because you actually want change to happen.
Felicia, I want to ask you another thing. So you're a woman involved in a lot of these protests, and talking about allies, how much do you feel like allies have been supporting all aspects of your identity? So there's been a lot of talk about how Breonna Taylor, the officers that shot her, justice hasn't really been dealt out for them in the same way. How do you feel about the way that this movement has supported your rights as a woman, and the ways that allies have stepped up to support you as a woman? Are men stepping up? Are other people stepping up in your conversations with people on those terms, on the women of this movement?
Yeah, I definitely feel like as a woman, there hasn't been enough help. There hasn't been enough advocating. I definitely feel like the faces of the Black Lives Matter movement, even though it was created by a woman, is always Black men. If a Black man gets killed, then the city burns down. But if a Black woman gets killed, then it's quiet. And it's just like, I don't understand why, because Black women are the ones who do the most for all movements. You know, like, we are always on the floor. We're always doing the work, always making sure that we're supporting other groups, whether they're Black or not. So it's just really disheartening to see how little support we actually get in return. I feel like people think that, oh, because we're saying Black Lives Matter, that we're doing it for women too, but you're really not, when you see that, okay, George Floyd's murderers got convicted, but Breonna Taylor's, only one of them got fired, and then the rest of them are still working. So you really do see this huge disparity in how they treat our Black male victims and our female Black victims. I feel like, I don't know, this is tough. This is really tough, because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because I am still very grateful for all of the attention that has been given to Breonna Taylor, and also any other of our femme, how do I say it, victims. But I also feel like there's just so much more work to be done, because people are placing so much more emphasis on the men that are dying. And I also know men are dying at higher rates, so it does make sense. But I just feel like the women's deaths are being pushed into a corner. And it's kind of scary, because you do look at a lot of Black women's death, and you barely hear anything about it. Like, you barely hear anything about it. So compared to Black males. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
At risk of mansplaining or making a patriarchal male challenge, but I do think the one thing different with George Floyd is that we watched him die over and 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 over again on TV. And every time I say this, I have to say it with that many overs, because that's how many times we watched him die. And with Ahmaud Arbery, we also saw that video. If you think that, and I think that's what made the difference. We were stuck at home with no sports, no other entertainment, and the only thing on TV has been the news, watching these men die. Yeah. Versus Breonna Taylor, who actually she was in the place where you should be the safest, and it should be the most obvious that it's the most wrong. She was in bed.
Yeah, she was sleeping. She was sleeping.
They knocked on the door.
As much of, you can't be a threat while you're asleep. And but there's no video. And that's the one part that I think is different. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely feel like seeing videos are better at eliciting emotion and like bringing about change. However, I still think that we shouldn't have to see videos in order to fight for somebody. We shouldn't have to see someone get murdered in order to know that their life was valuable and to know that their death was wrong and to fight for them. You know, I know that the videos that we've seen of those of so many Black men, it's terrible, but also like we need to recognize that all because the video isn't there doesn't mean that it wasn't bad. You know, like we don't know what has happened to other Black women that haven't been recorded. Like we have to keep in mind that there's a lot of deaths that have still not been recorded and have not been publicized. So yeah, I do get what you mean. Videos are more efficient for making people want to do something. However, I also think that we need to get out of that mentality that we need to see something in order to do something.
Well, and I also think about all of the years, like what did it take to actually get body cam? You know what I mean? Like that's a huge step. Like no one believed all of the people that you helped in San Quentin that for years may have been in the system, that may have, I'm not saying they're all innocent, probably the majority of them are not innocent. But I am sure that there are people whose case and some of the intricacies of their case with video, with body cam, it would be a different situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. But I don't want to be on no conspiracy theory stuff, but I actually heard that something going around with body cams where when officers pull over black people, their body cams just malfunction.
There's been a lot of cases where they turn them off, and yeah.
And I know that because like when I got detained from UCPD, and I asked for the body cam, they were like, oh, we don't know if he's even in this department. Oh, we gotta have to look around. Like, but we don't even know if it was on. Like, blah blah blah. So, yeah.
Well, and so that's part of the legislation. Part of the legislation, because people are saying there's a bunch of protesting, but what's happening? I know there's legislation that's trying to be put in place to make it so that it's a crime for an officer to not have their body cam on, which I think would be groundbreaking. It makes a lot of sense not to tell on yourself if you're going to do something bad. The cases that we talked about, we're not even using body cam. The Arbery case was not a current police officer, but someone else was recording. The George Floyd case, it was not the police officer's body cam that we've all seen the video of. It's someone else recording that has made this as big as it is. And so if we're dependent on the authorities telling on themselves, then we wouldn't have a lot of this evidence.
True. But I also think that I don't know how much that would help because we still have so many videos from body cams and those officers have still not been convicted for what they've done, have still not been, punished for or have any consequences for what they've done, even though it's literally in the body cam footage that they clearly did something wrong. So I don't even know if body cams can do that because, at the end of the day, we live in a very toxic and what's the word I'm saying? Corrupt, a very corrupt country. Well, the whole world is corrupt, but it's been built on white supremacy, and it's always going to benefit white individuals in positions of power. At the end of the day, no matter what evidence we bring up against them, unless we're burning down stores, like they're not gonna convict.